Well, this might be a hot take, but should influencers who are in the reselling space and accept advertisement money, should they even be complaining about eBay's new changes when it comes January 13th in regards to their promoted ads? Stick around in the video and let's discuss.
I found a stack of records in my attic today, an Elvis picture disc and Kenny's big old hay. Put them up on eBay for the day was done. Watch the bids roll in till the morning sun.
Welcome everyone to the video. Welcome to the channel. As you can see, I've been retooling things around here. Got a new cool background. Took a while to get the background just right, just the way I wanted it. And the thumbnail, last video, you didn't see a thumbnail in that video, my usual thumbnail, because I've been retooling that as well. So, just trying to make things look a little better, a little fresher, a little unique, interesting, all that good stuff. I have a light source. You can probably see the reflection in my glasses, and that's the problem. I've been trying to avoid a reflection in my glasses, and I've been trying to figure out what to do. I have I even have, I have box lights, and I have a box light over there that would deflect this direction. And I've had it all the way up to the ceiling, and I still get a reflection in my glasses, even though it's on the other side of the wall. It's kind of far that way, here in the garage, but I still pick up the reflection in my glasses. So I don't think there's going to be any way to avoid a reflection in my glasses. So I'm just going to use this little light I have right here just to kind of help illuminate things a little bit. If you remember Demolition Man, the Demolition Man, if you've never seen it, watch it. It's predicted so much that is happening in the future, from when it came out. It came out in the 90s, if I remember correctly. Late 90s or mid 90s. I forgot exactly when. But it predicted a lot of what we see occurring right now, in the future. What the future would be. I hear someone working outside. We just haven't gotten to the 3 seashells, which, if that's a Demolition Man reference, I'd like to see. They never really explained what the 3 shell. It was a bathroom thing too, as opposed to toilet paper. They used 3 seashells, and it never really explained it in the movie exactly you do with the three seashells, but. A little bit of Scott. It's a wet, rainy day, dreary day, kind of like Scotland. So I'm going to have some scotch. Like the video, thumbs up, subscribe, comment down below. Now, we're definitely going to get to some what's sold. And I've been creating last couple days, I've been creating a outline for a video, and I've been going back, working it back and forth, and not sure. I was going to do this next week, but just so I can continue to refine it. But I don't think it's really going to get any better than what I have here. So I'll probably just do that today. And it's regarding, I know I said I was going to talk about the ad changes, but it's regarding the ad changes. Okay. It's regarding it, but it's not necessarily talking about that directly. And if you saw the intro, you probably kind of see where the direction is going. Had a return. I forgot to talk about this in the last video, but I had a couple of returns, and it's something that, it's not, you just return the item, right? You don't have to come up with some big elaborate story. Just return it. You don't have to put an explanation. Return it. So this is a typical, and the reason why I bring it up is because it's something that I see often, and it's kind of odd why people do this, but really, I think it's not necessarily to justify the return to eBay or to the seller. It's really just, I believe, to justify to themselves, because they have a guilty conscience. I think buyers have a guilty conscience, and they have to justify it to themselves. There's some people that don't care. They'll just return they'll just return no matter what. Or they'll return, or they'll just scam you, do a return scam. And they don't care. They don't have a conscience. But I think those that do have a conscience and want to do a return, they have to justify it. And one of the something that's very, very common you'll find is they'll say, I got the item and it stinks or it smells or the packaging smells. They said the packaging smells, and then they said it also the item smells. Like, okay. First of all, it wasn't clothing. First of all, if it smells, I'm not really selling it, or I'm going to try to get the smell out. If I can't get the smell out, I'm not going to sell it. Some items, very rarely do I actually sell smelly items, and I'll, indicate that it does smell. The most recent, or the one thing that I can remember that's in my memory right now is I sold this leather mask. Well, it wasn't really a mask. It was more like a leather face. It was a woman's face done in leather, strips of leather. And you could tell it had been sitting in some sort of a smoke shop or a cigar room or something, because it had that old cigar smell to it. And I sold it like a cigar room piece. It has old cigar smell, and it sold. So that was just the last thing I remember. And as I'm looking over there, I have purses and bags I'm hanging that I was able to wash. So those are hanging and drying. Can't wash them all, but there are some that I find if they do smell, I'll be like, oh, I can wash this, so I'll throw it to the washer. But that's very common. It's a very common thing to see. Like, you'll get a message or you'll get a return, and the person will say, not as described, and they'll say item smells. It's something that I encounter often. It's very odd. I guess they all think alike. All these returners, they all think similar. So they all use the smell. Everything smells. It smells. It smells. Oh, by the way, it was, which is why it was like, how does this, first of all, I got it back and it doesn't smell at all. The packaging doesn't smell. Nothing smells. But it was, forks. It was, 2 sets of forks. And they're stainless steel. So first of all, stainless steel has a metallic smell to it, but it really doesn't smell unless there's food particles on it. And there's definitely not food particles on it. So there was no smell to the item. There was no smell of the packaging at all. It was just an excuse they used to justify it to themselves. Because they have free returns, so they can just return it. They don't even have to give an explanation. But I feel that their guilty conscience forces them to give an explanation. And then another one that may or may not be a return is a Bose speaker I sold, and they said it didn't come with a power cord. And so in the listing, it says does not come with a power cord. It says does not come with a remote, does not come with a power cord, and does not come with an antenna. It was just like a little plug-in wire antenna. And so I was like, it didn't include all those three things. And so they said it didn't come with a power cord. I said, well, it was in the description. There they go. Then they come back with, I know you said it doesn't have a remote, but I didn't know it doesn't work without the remote. Well, the specific Bose speakers require, or Bose radio systems require a remote to work with them. And there's no buttons really on it. Are there any buttons on it? I don't think there's any buttons on it at all to actually use it. And I took pictures all the way around it, so the person can clearly see there's no buttons or anything on it. And it's, these Bose systems are known for you need the remote to be able to use it. Kind of like an item I'm going to show you right now really quick. Oh, actually, I was going to show an item. Shoot, I didn't grab it. But I haven't shipped it out yet. It's supposed to go out today. I haven't done it yet. But I'm going to ship it out soon. I wanted to show the video and I forgot. But what was I saying? What was I at? Oh, so they go, tell me the remote. So I explained to them, this system, That's why there's no buttons or anything on the system. Because they go, there's no buttons on the system. I go, yeah, there's no buttons on the system. So then they go into a whole explanation about like how this 90-year-old grandmother and, this is for her and a retirement home. It's supposed to keep her company. And I'm like, I don't need the explanation. Are you going to return it? Or are you not going to return it? They're either asking for they're either looking for me to say, okay, I'll give you a partial refund, or I don't know, they're trying to justify a return. They're going back and forth with me in messages. I'm answering, politely, professionally, explaining everything to them. Finally, they send me a message saying, well, I was actually able to, they actually did say, thank you for being polite. So anyway, then they, at the end of the whole thing was, then they said, I might have to return it. And then at the absolute end of it, they said, oh, actually, I have a power cord that will fit this, and I was able to order a remote for the item. Like, okay, we'll see. Like, just going back and forth, and then that's the nature of of retail. It's not the nature of eBay, not the nature of selling online. It's the nature of retail. There are people like this all over the place. It doesn't matter whether it's in person, online. They're everywhere. It's not unique to eBay. It's not unique to Amazon. Not unique to anybody. And I talked about this. I'm a very informed consumer. So I'm someone that goes through all the detail before I buy anything. Sorry, not like, I ordered some Q-tips recently online. I'm not going to go through a whole, I order the Q-tips all the time. So I'm not going to, go through a whole read description and everything. I'll just go through the pictures. But, when I'm buying a camera, for instance, I'm going to go through all the details. I'm going to wait for reviews to come out. I used to be very much on the bleeding edge of things when I was younger, especially when building computers. I would get the latest and greatest stuff. And I'd find out, it's not compatible with this. What the heck? I guess I got to order something else. Or, it'd be like, oh man, it doesn't work with this game yet. I got to wait for this, one thing that was out was, what do they call it? It was with NVIDIA. It was so you can use with ATI, it was called Crossfire, and allow you to use two graphics cards together. And with NVIDIA, they called it something else. Basically, what do they call it? You need this little link to link up two cards together. Well, first of all, the cards have to support being used, two of them to multiple. I mean, you can use multiple graphics cards in a computer, but this is actually to take advantage of both of them in gaming. I mean, there were other uses, but gaming was primarily what they were geared towards. What was it called? It wasn't called Crossfire. It was called, I can't remember right now. But either way, it was to allow you to use two graphics cards together. Was the technology behind it. But you had to have the software support behind it to use it. The games had to support it, and they had to provide you the appropriate drivers, and the drivers are the software for the hardware. And so sometimes you would, I got two graphics cards. You're thinking double the horsepower. Not really. Not really. It's not really the case. And then you're thinking, oh man, it's just going to make this game just look more amazing. And I can't tell you, you have to wait. You got two graphics cards, you got the game, and you're like, you have to wait for them to update the software in order to even play the game. I remember one game specifically that I really, really liked was called Company of Heroes. It was one of my favorite games. And I remember I tried to use it in my dual video card setup, two NVIDIA cards, and it was horrible. It was horrible. I had to wait for an update. I'm like, oh god, what's the point there? So I used to be on the bleeding edge, not anymore. I'm a wait for a review, see other people, let other people try it out first, and then I'll jump in to the ring. Okay, let's get into the topic at hand. I had a few notes here. Let me see. I'll kind of do this. I gotta do. Let's do not disturb. That was right next to the microphone too. That alert as soon as I picked up my phone. It's kind of cool. I don't know if this works with with Apple or anything like that, but I'm a Pixel. I already told everybody, Google Pixel. I'm a Pixel guy all the way. But when you have your phone, flipped over like this, it puts it automatically in Do Not Disturb. But when you pick it up, it takes it off of Do Not Disturb. You can turn that feature on and off. I was looking for those notes. Notes. Okay, nothing really there. But really quickly, I went to go pick this up. It has more accessories as the keypad that comes with it. But I went to pick this up on Facebook Marketplace. Definitely something to be on the lookout for. I did pay up a little bit for it. I paid $20. But this should sell for probably closer to $60 because it will have the keypad. It has the dongle. These keyboards, you need to have the dongle. So they're Microsoft Sculpt keyboard. So it has the dongle, and some of them have a slot for the dongle in the back, and some of them don't. So definitely something to be aware of. But this one also has, so you see there's little indentions here. This one also has a piece that connects magnetically to kind of raise this up a bit. So you're kind of like this with your typing like this. So it has all the features except the mouse But it should still go for about $60. So we'll be pretty good on that. So I did go and pick that up. The item I wanted to show was, I did a short video on it. So if you look at my channel, you look at the shorts, you'll see it. It's a Christmas item. It was pretty recent. It was the Hot Diggity from Westland. So a figurine, a hot dog, what is it? One of those little hounds, like a Dachshund hound. I can't pronounce it right, but one of the wiener dogs. And they have a whole line of wiener dogs. You know, they have them dressed up in different things. But it was a Christmas one. It had a bunch of stockings on it. And in the video, it recently sold at bid for $59, none listed. And so I was like, I think I could push it up to 100 because other Christmas ones were going for right around 100. Some were less, some were definitely less than that. But there was some that were up to 100. So I listed this at 100 and it sold for $109. Maybe I'll show a picture really quick. I mean, I don't even know. I can show a picture. I'll show this in the what sold. Yeah, I'll wasting more time here. I'll do it in the what sold video. What sold part of this video. Okay, let's go ahead and look at let me pull up my outline here. So a video came out today for the Nashville Flippers. So if you really want to know any more details or a better explanation, better than probably I can do, of what is occurring January 13th with with ads in general, with the promotions on eBay, go watch their latest podcast, Nashville Flippers, Colorado Warren, I believe is her call sign. Don't remember her actual name, but her call sign like Colorado Warren. It does a great job of breaking it all down and explaining it. And so I won't really get into any explanation on that. Just real quickly, all I'm going to say is if someone clicks on your promotion, so on your item, and it's been promoted, and they click on that actual where it is in, on eBay, where it says promoted on it or sponsored. Is it promoted or sponsored? I have to double check. And someone clicks on it, it activates the fee that you're going to get charged for that promotion, whether or not they buy it or not. And if they buy it, obviously, you get charged for it. But if they don't buy it, it's already active. And what happens is, think of it like hot potato. For 30 days, if anybody in the world comes in and buys it, they're going to get charged that promoted fee, no matter what, whether they saw it through a promotion or not. So if the first person that saw it through a promotion activates it, and then after that, anybody else that sees it, whether it's a promoted or if it's not promoted or whatever, you're going to get charged. Okay. Starts January 13th. That's through the general ad campaign. That applies to the general ad campaign. So the reason why I wanted to talk about this and why I even came up with this topic was because those in the reselling YouTube social media space, those with the biggest voices, obviously have the biggest following, right? They have a big audience that they're talking to. And so we have they have a lot of followers, a lot of people that follow them, a lot of people that treat them as gurus or mentors, or they look to them to be like, oh man, what's the latest news? What's the latest advice? All that. And some of these people do advertisement spots. Not all of them. It's only a select few, right? There's not that many. It's a very small group of actual influencers that can get to the point where companies will come to them and actually pay them. There's a couple of ways that works. A couple of ways that they get paid. They can get paid just for making a video talking about their products. Like, hey, go buy this mason jar. It's really, really good. Da, da, da. And they get paid for making a video for doing a sponsored spot. Another way, and one way that I earn, money through maybe advertising. Kind of, I guess I'm advertising because I put it in my description of my videos. is through affiliate links. And that's kind of similar to general promoted ads on eBay. Someone will need to click on that affiliate link, and then I will get a small commission, a small portion, or other people who have affiliate links will get a portion every time someone clicks on that link and then buys that thing. Or on Amazon, so long as they click on it and then they go to Amazon, then they don't necessarily have to buy that one item. But if that link has taken them to Amazon and they start buying things, through that link that you provided, then you can get a small commission. So that's kind of similar, in a way, but we're kind of more focused towards the people that get paid just for basically creating a commercial. And so the company is spending their ad money. Let me just scroll down on my my little notes here. Is spending their ad money. See, like I was. Oh, that's why. Because I'll scroll all the like way at the top of what I create as I've been revising it. I've been revising all this outline as I'm going. And I forgot I was scrolled all the way to the top. I wasn't even on like the bullet point section. Oh my goodness. Here, let me clear my head here. I had a little bit of a bigger swig. Oh. So, okay. So when a influencer, and again, I'm going to repeat this probably a couple times. This is a very small group of people that actually, that actually get paid from influencers to create commercials. It's not, and especially in the reselling space, it's not a lot of people that have that kind of viewership, because it really, you might think, oh, they have a lot of followers, but they might not get enough views. So, and what companies that want to advertise with people are looking at, how many views are you getting? Are you getting a lot of views on your videos? Because they want a lot of eyes on the video. So they're paying a influencer to create a video, and we're talking about videos, not necessarily just posting. We're talking more towards video content. They're paying an influencer to create a video to advertise their item, and they're going to pay them no matter what. They pay them, right? So they're there, and the influencer is accepting that money, so they're getting paid for that without any, promise. Like the influencer is not saying, well, okay, so if you get 20, if 20 people buy your product, then you can pay me. Then it's okay, pay me. No, they're getting that money right away. They're like, no, you're going to pay me. I'm going to make the video, and you're going to pay me for making that video. And so what they're doing is they're providing exposure. And in the advertising world, everybody knows you need to cast a large, and that you need maximum exposure. There is a lot of money spent on just exposure. And that's the key word here, is exposure. Just think of movies. You would think, why would Disney need to promote a movie? But they spend millions of dollars promoting movies. You would think these large companies, large IPs or intellectual properties, why would they need to spend money? They're already huge. They're already well known. They're well established. Why do they spend money on advertising? Because advertising works. Advertising needs to happen. Advertising needs to happen. I can't think, even word of mouth. People might think, oh, we don't pay for word of mouth, but it's still, you still gotta, there's still some effort involved there. I'm trying to think of an instance where some company just became, and now, and like I've said before, advertising, social media is a form of advertising, right? And that's where we're at. That's what we're talking about right now. Companies are paying influencers to advertise their products. And so the key word again, exposure. These companies are looking for maximum exposure, or they're looking for, let's say they're a company that, that makes silverware, for instance. I'm dealing with silverware right now. And they're going to look for, let's say, a reseller who does YouTube videos and has good exposure, has lots of views, and they're going to be like, oh, you know what? We make silverware. This person is a silverware reseller and makes content in regards to silverware. Let's see if they can. So they're going to try to do a very targeted, they're going to try to get into a very targeted audience to hopefully, I don't know what the conversion rate would be. It's very low. I'll tell you this. When someone advertises, they already are well aware that, they're going to advertise to maybe 100,000 people. And let's just say they're maybe only expecting a small fraction. I don't know, maybe a few hundred out of there, which is a very small fraction of 100,000. So the more, niche down they can get. So if they can get down to like somebody who focuses their content on, let's just say cooking, and this company happens to do something in the cooking space, they're going to add like, hey, can you advertise? We'll pay you. Can you reach out to your cooking audience? Even there's still going to be a small fraction, even though that person caters to people who are in the cooking space. There will only still be a small fraction of that audience that will actually purchase whatever is being advertised. It was a long tangent. As a matter of fact, I've talked about this before, coming from using Google ads, using Facebook ads, Facebook and / Instagram, because Instagram is a part of Facebook, using those from my own website. You would be shocked if what you pay for this service and you get access, the amount of data. You don't see, I don't see John Smith, right? But, the amount of data that you get and how targeted your ads can be is pretty shocking. It's shocking really how much data is out there, how much, and, Google isn't maybe as personalized. Facebook, Instagram, really personalized data. So you could really, you think, when you think, I just talked about this thing, all of a sudden get ads about it. It's not necessarily that they're listening in on you, but they know everything you've put in there, from your pictures to your posts to, who you're related to, whatever, where you've been shopping at. They know. And those ads, and people can pay to have access to that data. I've paid to have access to that data. It's expensive, which is why I don't really mind, the eBay fees. I don't like paying more fees, but I don't mind it, but I know how expensive that data is. I wish I had more control, but maybe if I had more control, they'd charge me more. I don't know, because I've had that control and I've seen the amount of data. It is insane. It's wild. And it's pretty wild. Before I went off on that tangent there, okay, let's get back to topic. So really, I really don't think that influencers who accept money for creating a video and accepting that money just for creating the video, not for, affiliate links or anything like that, but for making a video, accepting the advertising money, but not guaranteeing any sales, similar. There's a similarity there, right? To what is currently happening. Well, there is a similarity, but what we don't know, and we probably will never know, is come January 13th, does that click on an advertisement, on an advertised item, does that grant us more exposure? So does it grant us more exposure? We don't know. We probably will never know. I'm pretty sure eBay will tell us that it does. But, do we take their word for it? Will we see more sales as a result of this? We shall see. We shall see. So I think there's a bit of a bit of a conflict there. I really don't think, if you're accepting money to give exposure to companies, so you're kind of benefiting. You're benefiting from this style of advertising, and then you go and complain about it on a because it's happening to you, right? Because that's happening to you somewhere else. You're benefiting, and then you're complaining about it because it's happening to you on eBay. Yeah. And again, this is I'm going to repeat myself again. This is a very small, select few bit of people. Not everybody on social media is to the point where they're making this they're making advertiser money from making commercials. Not everybody is. Okay. Very small, select few. But these small, select few typically have a large reach. They have a large following. They have a lot of viewers. They have a lot of followers. They have a lot of viewers. So their voice is a bit larger than most people. So they're not the most people, but they have a bigger voice. And I definitely think they should, address. I don't think anybody has addressed this. Now I was just thinking about this the other day, which is why I started creating this outline, or creating this, thinking of this to create a video about this. So, why not, when I kick off my new background, my new thumbnail, my reflection in my glasses, all that. Okay. I think that's it. I think that's all I wanted to say. Yeah. So just something to be aware. Again, it's just something to be aware of. It's not that it is. Everybody has the right to say whatever they want. Everybody has the right to complain about it if they want to complain about it. Everybody can be, I'm saying too much. Yeah, I just noticed. I caught myself saying too much. I got to stop that. I need to stop that. Everybody has the right to complain. Everybody has the right to say whatever they want. You don't want to be hateful, right? You don't want to be hateful. Everyone has the right to say whatever, but you don't want to be hateful. I guess there may be some limits, right? Freedom of speech, but you can't be a hateful person. You can't be lying about people. I mean, you may not have all the appropriate information when you're making certain statements, but it's definitely, if someone comes in and clarifies, you should probably be like, this person clarified it and done it and talk about it, right? Okay, either way, we're getting way off topic. But just something to be aware of, something to hopefully, stir up conversation. And what else? Oh, just be aware, or just know that. Don't be like, I'm gonna start cutting time. When I mentioned about how much data these companies have out there, it's too late. It's too late. Okay. If you have a smartphone, it's too late. If you signed up for it, it's too late. It just is what it is nowadays. This is what this day and age, this is where we're at in this day and age. So you don't have to accept it. You can try not to accept it, but you have to accept it. My dad refuses to sign into anything with his Google account, but I'm pretty sure they already have everything. They already have it all. He refuses to say he wants to do all these AI things, but he doesn't want to sign into anything. It's too late. Too late. Okay, let's get to the what's old part. Okay, let's go ahead and get this kicked off here. With the first item here, which is a mulberry coin wallet, pouch, purse. Really, really cool little item here because it sold for $65 and it goes in a small little padded poly bag and $7.50 is what they paid in shipping. So definitely something to keep your eye out for. Mulberry, great brand to look out for. Purses, wallets, women's accessories, does incredibly well, sells incredibly well. We need to get to know these items because everybody else knows about Coach. Everybody else knows about Louis Vuitton, Kate Spade, Steve Madden. These are all well-known household names. Mulberry. Has anybody else heard about Mulberry? How did I pick this out? Because I knew the quality. I knew the quality of the leather when I picked it up. I knew the quality. I saw the quality of the stitching. I saw the quality of the lining, and so that triggered immediately. Wow, this is a good quality item. Doesn't necessarily mean it's worth it. No, but it means it goes in the cart, and I should look this up. And good thing I did because it went for $65 for a little coin purse. So you got to be looking out for these things. You're not going to be able to know every single name that's out there because there's a lot of them that are out there that go for good money. But you can know quality. You can know quality leather. You can know quality lining. You can know good quality stitching. definitely things to keep your eye out for. And you got to learn these things in order to be able to identify some of these off names that nobody else knows about that are not household names. So $65, this little tiny coin purse. It's not big. It's a little coin purse, $65. Where's my pointer? It's not on here. There we go. There we go. Oh, am I going back? Oh, no, there we go. We're on the right way. Okay, Cutco. Everyone talks about Cutco. Everyone, I think, should be aware that Cutco does really well. Cutco doesn't just do knives; they do utensils. They have, all your kitchen supplies. Well, not all your kitchen supplies, all your utensils, I should say. Really cool. It's a masher, and how much do they go for? $18.98. Got to the bins. Not a crazy, not as much of the knives. The knives are the cream of the crop. That's the ones you want to look out for. $11.45 is what they paid in shipping. And this went inside one of the Ground Advantage 2 boxes. So definitely something to keep your eye out for. Cutco is really easy to identify because of the handles. They have a very unique design to them. So very, very easy to pick up on it or to spot it. And then, of course, it says Cutco on it as well, too. Made in the USA. Keep your eye out for not just the knives, but for the spoons and the serving spoons, the mashers, all the other kitchen gadgets. Not gadgets, more utensils. Okay, quart placemats. Definitely something to keep your eye out for that do fly under the radar. Although most are worthless. Most of them aren't worth anything. So you're really going to keep your eye out for good ones that have an interesting subject matter. That's what I'm looking for. Subject matter. Look for the subject matter. And we have Irish castles. So really, really cool. $39.83 is what they sold for. $13.92 is what they paid for it. And this went inside a Ground Advantage large padded. Is it polybag? It's not even a polybag. Large padded bag is what it is. Ground Advantage, the new Ground Advantage ones. So really cool. So like most cork placemats are worthless. They aren't worth anything. There are very select few that will sell very well. And I will tell you, I don't think there's really any comparables to go on when it comes to this. I don't think so, if I remember correctly, but it's been a while ago since I actually looked for comparables on this exact item. But it's all subject matter here, all subject matter. Floral ones do really well, Christmas ones will do really well. So look at the subject matter, and you might want to just look up like Irish castles, not necessarily when you're doing your comparables. Look to see if Irish castle pictures do well, Irish castle postcards do well. And there, just because there are Irish castles in it, there could be some demand for Irish castle things. So definitely something to keep your eye out for. I think the last pork-backed placemats I sold were actually from Crate and Barrel. So Crate and Barrel, if you find Crate and Barrel is a premium name. So definitely something to look out for. But subject matter. These didn't sell because they were quote placemats. They sold because of the subject matter. Another thing to be on the lookout for right now is Chinese New Year. I don't know if all my Chinese New Year stuff is selling right now, but I don't know what year it is, like what animal it's going to be. But this ram with a bunch of, ceramic ram with a bunch of the, ceramic looking coins on it, sold. Really, really cool piece. It wasn't very heavy either. It was definitely hollow. $25, $13.92 is what it sold for. This went in one of my 12. I don't use these boxes that much anymore, but 1286 box is what it went into. But using all my Ground Advantage stuff as of late. Because it works and because it's free. But really, really cool. Definitely, we're getting close to the time for Chinese New Year, so you want to get your Chinese New Year stuff up and listed right now. So really, really cool. I've been selling the little ceramic ones. I know I have a bunch of little ceramic ones. I've been selling those all of a sudden. Those started just popping off. So it's time of the year. So keep your eye out for these items right now. Right now. Okay, I featured this in here because there are a lot of low comps on this comparables. So these are from the Disney store. I don't think these were at Disneyland. I think these were Disney store only. But Mickey Mouse keys, decor pieces, limited edition is sold for, I believe this was on the higher end for these, and I aimed for the higher end. I got it. $27.98. $5.71 when they paid in shipping. This went into a regular padded poly bag. So definitely something to keep your eye out for. I aimed high and I got it. So really, really cool. Don't necessarily be afraid to aim high, but I don't know. I think if I remember correctly, the comparables probably would have said this should have gone for about $15. But it was Disney. It was unique. It was actually brand new. It was opened, but all these things were still sealed on the, like they were still, tied back and everything. So I did list it as used too. So it's all really cool. Cool sale. Disney is good. Okay, Saturday Sharks. This was just a really cool popcorn bucket. I don't think every single hockey team popcorn bucket will sell, but it might. But this was the cool popcorn bucket. And the Sharks, when they when they come out to the ice, they have this giant shark head that comes down from the ceiling. They come through it. So really, really cool popcorn bucket. It was just a cool popcorn bucket. $25 and $6.34 is what they paid in shipping. 8x8x8 box is what this went into. Definitely cool, unique popcorn buckets. Obviously, they have to have, associated with hockey, Major League Baseball, football. You gotta have a good theme. Popcorn bucket like from the movie theater. They gotta have a good IP or a good intellectual property behind it, and that will make it a premium item that people want, or I should say, people want to pay money for. Okay, this is the one I threw in there. This is the one that I made a short video on that had a recent comparable or comp at $59, and none other listed of this exact looking one. There is a small, like a ornament that looks just like this, smaller than this. It's an ornament that sold for $150, which is wild. This is not an ornament. This is just a figurine, but I haven't shipped this out. I'm gonna probably put it in a Ground Advantage shoebox. What they call the shoebox. Oh, where am I at? Here we go. $107.91. That was a big bolo there. These Westland wiener dogs. I sold in the video. I said I sold Harley Davidson one. I think it was about $30, and that's what I automatically assumed, around $30. It was about $30. So you can pay about $5, maybe up to $10 for this type of item. Like I'd probably pay $10 because I knew it would probably sell pretty quickly. And you definitely at least double your money on that. But $107 on this. What do they pay on shipping? Did I say that? $10 flat that they paid in shipping. So really, really cool. Keep your eye. Weston, some of them do well. I think that if I'm not mistaken, they do the cows on parade. They do the horses, which I forget what they're called. I forget what they call their horses, but they do the horses. The horses hadn't been doing good at all. I wouldn't pick up the horses anymore. They take too long to sell. The cows on parade, I wouldn't pick those up either. I wouldn't pick up the cows on parade. I wouldn't pick up the horses. The wiener dogs still seem to do okay, and especially these Christmas ones, definitely. There are other Christmas ones out there, so keep your eye out for those Christmas ones. Really, really cool. So there's your bonus. What sold? I'm going to get that packaged up along, and then get everything else out. I think I have 2 more things to package up, and then I got to get them all out the door and get over to the post office. And where did I go today? Am I going to Savers? If I go to Savers, what time is it? Maybe I go to Savers. Savers is usually quick. I can get in and out of there pretty quickly. Goodwill, I kind of get lost in the Goodwill, especially when I'm making a video. Maybe I'll make a video today. We'll see. There was a Goodwill video that I really wanted to release, but I was trying to fix the audio on it. It's all messed up. I can't get the audio right, and I don't know what's wrong with it exactly. I do want to go back to that Goodwill. Will I find the same stuff? I don't know, because it was a good haul. But Maybe I'll go to that one. We'll see how things go. It is raining and cloudy and foggy and really, we need the rain. We're in California. We need the rain. So I don't mind it, but it's cold, wet, and rainy. So that's it. That's the end of the video. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.
Hey, you've made it to the end. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed this content, please like the video by hitting the thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel by hitting my little round icon down below. It really does help us out here. Also, you'll find a couple of selections. You'll see a playlist of videos to watch and my most recent video that I did upload.